Hey guys, welcome back. It's Best in Beauty time for the month of January. I guess this is the first favorites video I'll have done since the Emily Awards. So I have definitely, even though I've been in this time frame that's been really weird with, you know, having a baby and being in kind of a different makeup routine at times / total lack of makeup routine, I still have definitely accumulated some favorite products. Some of these, you know, I was really starting to get into before the baby arrived. And now as I attempt to establish some normalcy in my life in terms of my makeup routine, I'm using them a whole lot now as well. But speaking of baby, what foundation was I wearing when I was in labor? Well, I happen to be wearing the Estee Lauder Double Wear, just the traditional stuff. I wear this in the shade Tawny. I'm wearing it now as well. And this kind of rekindled my love for this foundation. I've been wearing it a little bit on and off pre-baby. And I do feel like the coverage level is just really perfect for me right now. I do, even when my skin is pretty good, like I feel like overall skin tone wise, I don't have any major discoloration to deal with right now. I don't necessarily need the fullest of the full coverage, but I still love evenness. I really like when everything is super evened out, and this just does that so well. It definitely proved to me that going through an entire day, no touch-ups, it was able to survive childbirth pretty well, I thought. I mean, maybe there was a little wearing down around the nose if I want to get super picky, but this is certainly the type of foundation that you put it on and you really don't have to worry about it. You know, you can go through that entire day and feel like, yeah, everything's pretty well intact. But I have been experimenting with a lot of foundations lately, but getting back into this one some more, it just reminded me just how good the staying power is. It is really spectacular staying power for just the regular Double Wear. Another foundation that I find myself using more kind of just around the house, you know, when I'm just wanting to slap on something real quick, whether I am downstairs in front of my bathroom mirror or I'm up here, you know, just trying to pull together a little bit of a look. I have been reaching for this so much, my IT Cosmetics CC Cream, and this gets talked about so much by me. I mean, I think it's a great product. I like the illumination version as well, but when you're wanting that hydration and the coverage, one step, make it easy, plus the SPF, this is just a wonderful thing to have on hand. Love the pump as well, because I use, you know, one pump, maybe just a little bit more than that, all over the face, works wonderfully well. And another thing that's gotten some love in a recent video, my NYX sponge. I just used this, so you're seeing some product on there, but it has been all saturated with water, so you're seeing it at its maximum size, and I think this is such a phenomenal sponge. Definitely check out my wedge sponge comparison video for a lot more details about this and some others and why I like this one so much. But it really is awesome if you like both the roundness that a Beauty Blender has and the flat side that a Real Techniques sponge has, but also there's a really nice taper to the top of it, so it gets around my eyes so well. Basically, it does my foundation and it does my concealer. It's one sponge that really can pull it all off, and it can bake. You know, you can use that flat side, put some powder under there, works so well, and it's super duper soft, cleans up nicely. Really just super impressed with that sponge from NYX. Another coverage product, meanwhile, that I am enjoying a lot is this concealer from NARS. It's that soft matte complete concealer. I have it in light 2.75 Cannelle, and it's a really perfect skin tone match shade for me. I've got it on my under eye area and around my nose. And at first, before trying it, I thought, okay, soft matte concealer. Like, I do like the matte finish, but a lot of times things that might be mattifying that you might put up under your eye area may not be the greatest for keeping your skin looking fresh and hydrated and supple and everything. But I gotta say, this really does cover well, and it doesn't look super dewy when you're done with it, so you wouldn't necessarily even really have to set it with anything if you didn't want to. And it feels a little bit cooling when I tap it on the under eye area, which is so weird. I just wouldn't expect that out of a product that doesn't have a lot of like liquidiness to it, you know? And I still like my Anastasia concealer, and you've heard me compare that a lot to Benefit Erase Paste because it is so emollient. It has such a dewy kind of creaminess to it, you know? And I still think that might be a better bet if you're especially dry on the under eye area, formula, but this has worked surprisingly well. And it stays looking fresher by day's end than the NARS concealer in the wand. The kind with the doe foot applicator. I know a lot of people love that, I think it's called Radiant Creamy Concealer, but I feel like that kind of settles and dries down in my under eye area in a little more obvious way on me than this product does. So that's sort of fascinating to me. Let's talk setting powder for a second. I did not have a loose powder or a setting powder really included in my Emily Awards because I felt like I was still kind of in the thick of trying out and comparing a bunch of different things. As I sit here, look, this is what I'm doing. The top is so smooth. Why am I like rubbing it? I'm expecting a genie to pop out or something. The Laura Mercier powder though, the loose setting powder that says translucent. I am probably the last person on earth to be on YouTube talking about this being a great powder, but I held out a really long time. I felt like I tried everything under the sun, and then I found a little sample that I had of this, and it had a different concealer attached to the top, and I wasn't using that anymore. I knew that that was kind of past its prime, but I did experiment with some of the powder, and I thought, you know, that really is a nice powder on my under eye area, or just all over the face to set my makeup, and so I thought, I'm gonna go ahead and buy the full size, and I have really loved this. If you do feel like you have a concealer on your under eye area that needs to be set with something, whether you use this in the baking capacity, which would be pretty thick and full on, or just lightly, I mean just a light amount of this, it does add some coverage. It adds some brightness on my skin tone without being like ridiculous looking. It does not look dry and cakey on me. I mean, it really is a great loose powder. It pairs really well with concealers such as the Anastasia or Benefit Erase Paste. Anything that's leaving a little bit of tacky texture on your skin, put a little bit of this on top of it, and it's like the perfect marriage of product there. And just lightly worn all over my face, it enhances the staying power so well. So I have been loving my little Laura Mercier loose powder. Definitely, I think, worth the purchase of the full size. Let's talk lip products for a second, and I want to give a special shout out, as I did to the double wear, to the lip product that I was wearing while in labor, and it was from Besame. It's the Dusty Rose shade. It's the 1969 replica color. I have it in the mini size because it was part of that kit that I got shortly before Christmas time, and it's a fantastic shade. It is like my kind of color. It's sort of a pinky berry shade, very easy to wear, and I tell you what, so many people assume that you've done a whole heck of a lot more to your makeup than you maybe have if you just take the time to put on a lipstick that's got a little bit of color. People think, wow, you're really done up. But this lasted me so well all day long with the double blot technique. So you put it on, and I put it on with the lip brush at first, blot it off, put on a little bit more, blot it again, and I tell you what, your lips are like stained double time with that happening on there. It stayed looking so good without like drifting outside my lips. It was like the color was just one with my lips. Using that double blot method with pretty much any creamy lipstick that you have will just intensify the color and make it last so much longer. So I love that shade, and that will be very special to me. I don't think I'll ever forget that I was wearing that day. Another lipstick that I'm loving, and so many of you saw me wearing this on Snapchat, and I couldn't believe how many times that picture was screenshotted, but it's the Maybelline Their Little Intimate Nudes collection, the shade called Brown Blush. This is so gorgeous. If you like a berry that's just barely there berry, you know, it's mostly neutral, it's got a lot of brown in it, it's not very pinky at all, but it just has a little hint of pinky berryness going on there, a little bit of mauve. This is so pretty. The finish is gorgeous on the lips. Maybelline does some beautiful matte lipsticks, and this one, I don't know, it doesn't feel like a classic matte. It feels very nice and creamy going on, but it just doesn't have a lot of shine. This is kind of a nice shade to add some depth to your lip color wardrobe without getting too colorful if you just don't like, you know, the really bright colorful shades. Also, you guys know, if you've been keeping up with recent videos, I love the Revlon Ultra HD lip colors that they have sort of redone in this skinny packaging. I have two shades already that I adore. One is called HD Desert, one is HD Vineyard. I have added two to my collection. This one called HD Sand is the one I've been wearing throughout this video. Love, isn't that a beautiful, like kind of glossy glossy nude. And then I also got HD Blossom, which is like an outstanding, beautiful orchid type purpley shade. This gets compliments from Belle like, "Mommy, I like your purple lipstick." So this is really, really gorgeous. Love the texture of these. These are shiny. They feel kind of like Revlon's lip butters, you know, used to feel, maybe a hair thicker than that. Really great if you want color and a near gloss-like shine on really dry lips. Like, my lips looked so chapped and kind of nasty before I put this stuff on, and now I feel like, yeah, they're smooth, they're glossy. We're pretending that I've got lips in fabulous condition, and these are just great products for that kind of a look. A scent I'm loving, this MAC Shade Sense in Creme de Nude. Yes, this is by far my favorite scent from that line. It's yummy. It's kind of like vanilla, but a little bit spicy. Just a little bit spicy. It's mostly sweet. I don't know, there's just this feminine softness to this scent. It's a very comforting type scent. Cozy might be the best word to describe this. Love it so much. This is really random, but these little hair tie things here from Scrunchie, the Everyday and Active 6-piece workout chill out super stretch, these are so good. And I have a barely there ponytail, okay? Like, the hair really does not want to stay in, but I put one of these 3 times around it and the stuff isn't going anywhere. This is what they look like. It's almost like a mesh situation here, but they're really stretchy. And I have in this little set, there's these colors, the blue, like the lilac, the pink, this kind of mauve-y color, and then I have a gray and a black downstairs. There's nothing like rubbery in these whatsoever, but they really grab the hair, and they're not so bad about putting a dent in it as some of the smaller elastics are. So those are really good. A little bit of a follow-up on my Hourglass palette here. It's the Ambient Lighting Edit Surreal Light palette. I used this really quite a bit right around baby time, and so enjoyed most of what's in here. My absolute favorite parts are the blushes and the bronzer, and I'm wearing those today. Also, I do like this powder over here, which is what they call the finishing powder, I guess, in Surreal Light. That really does have a nice finish on the skin if you're looking for something that's not completely matte. The one thing that I just don't love about this palette is the highlight. You know, it does have some glow, but everything in here kind of has some glow. So I was looking for something that would really go up a notch and be super brightening. It's one of those things, it's okay, it's usable, but it's not my favorite part of the palette by any means. Still, I definitely do enjoy the palette. I've gotten a lot of good out of it. I think these blushes are so gorgeous. This pink one really pops on the cheeks. I'm wearing both of them. I'm wearing this one a little more lightly, but mostly this kind of soft pinky neutral, and I think they are just stunning, and that bronzer surprised me so much. That really gives a lot of life to my face, and I love the size of the mirror on this bad boy too. I've really got a thing for multitasking type face palettes, so I took that with me when I was in the hospital, and some people did ask, like, why didn't you take that giant IT Cosmetics palette, or why didn't you take the IT Cosmetics one that had the 4 products that you love so much? And really, I guess the reasoning was because I'd already made up my mind about those. I love those, and here this was still kind of in the testing phase. I'm never not testing something, okay? Always just got something cooking in the back of my mind, so that was what was cooking at that time. A couple of things though that I want to point out that have not worked quite so well. One thing that I did take with me to the hospital was the Better Than Sex waterproof mascara. I was not wearing this while I was in labor. I'm not even sure, did I have a waterproof on at that time? I probably had on the Clump Crusher water resistant and maybe the Supersizer mascara as well, but this I put on the day we left. I put on a little bit of makeup, and this smudged so much under my eyes. I'm like, a waterproof mascara? Really? It had so much smudginess down here below, and I wasn't even crying. It was just standard wear. You know, I put a little on top, and I thought, surely, you know, I'll be able to wear a little bit of this on my lower lashes, but no, it really transferred badly on me. So that's not going to be something I feel like I can trust in a waterproof capacity at all. And then another product that just didn't really float my boat is this Almay brow pencil. Almay has joined the club of brow pencils that have this sort of teardrop or triangular shape, like a wider tip to them. And I have it in brunette. It's got the pencil on one end and the spoolie on the other. And the thing I don't like about this is the texture of the product. It's very, very creamy. Some of you out there may like that. If you're looking for something that just transfers on there really, really softly and feels buttery, creamy, smooth, this lays down a lot of product. For me, it's too much because my brows are already kind of thick and I like something that's a little bit drier, something that is going to have pigment, you know, and be able to show up on my skin. But I've just got so much hair in my brows already. When I have a pencil like this that's borderline goopy feeling, it becomes too much. So if you're like me and that's kind of the way your preferences go for brow stuff, I just wanted to give you that little fair warning on the Almay brow pencil. But that is my best in beauty video for the month of January. I hope maybe you got some insights on some products you may have been wondering about. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I cannot thank you enough for all the kind words, your sweet feedback on Baby Eve. You guys so feel like an extended family out there to me, and I appreciate it more than you know. It baffles me, honestly, when I think about all the connections we've been able to build through this channel over the years, and just the fact that it's gone beyond makeup and has turned into just so much love and support that you've provided to me in various capacities. Sorry, I'm not trying to get mushy on you guys, but it just, you really have made such an impact on my world, and I want you to know that, and I value you so very much. So thank you again for taking time to watch this video, and I will see you very soon in another one. So bye guys.